Yo guys, welcome back to another YouTube live stream. It's me, mrjayowhy. Hope you're having a great day, a great weekend. Hope you're enjoying yourselves. How are we doing? Ha! Woo! Right. I should really have this set up more, shouldn't I? Oh, is Dig site freeing? Is Dig site freeing? That would be interesting. That was I was laughing at. I'm now. Oh, Dig site free. Why have my music just stopped? Hello? Oh, no, we're good. Oh, where's Fortnite OG? Bro, what? Epic Games. Where's Epic? Okay, there's Fortnite OG. Select, please. Okay, and then I don't know, emoji. Right, turn it on. Finally? What do you mean finally? I stream when I want. I stream when I want. For that community video. Yes, it'll be tomorrow. Oh, I didn't realize. Actually, I thought it rendered. It's actually still rendering. This might lagging terribly. Oh, I thought it was done. I mean, it's practically done. It's on 000. It's just needs to confirm. My bad. That's why I didn't go live, because my video was rendering. But I thought it'd done, but it hadn't done. This might be a rough few minutes then. Do. All gamers, how's it going? I came across a person that's on Team Foundation on another channel. What? Wait, what? Because Team Foundation is loot? That's kind of crazy. Oh, the third dig site is in. We might just do that the whole stream, you know. I need to notify the Discord. We need to notify the Discord. At everyone. And there we go. Right. Yeah, okay. So this is the one that reveals. What does that sound wrong? Reveals. Okay, cool. Cool. Guys, okay, we're doing dig site customs as well. We're doing dig site customs. Yes, it's literally I didn't. That's why I'm live late. Look. Okay, this is it. Struggling. So it is rendering now. I thought it had finished. If you hear a ping, that would be the thing confirming. Right. Alright, the code is the same as my Sport Creator code. We are doing dig site customs. Code is mrjayowhy, mrjayowhy. Is it common? I think YouTube had started doing this. I think it translates. What do you say there, Ethan? I'm so confused. That's the first time I've seen it like really I can't work out what you actually said there. What? Okay, I'm confused. Code is mrjayowhy, mrjayowhy. So, Fortnite OG Code. Okay. 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 How do I do this? Mode Fortnite OG. Builds. What are you saying? Server. Europe. Okay. Europe. Europe. Yeah, it translate through the YouTube thing is this common or something? I was like, what? So confused. Hey Joe, I'm currently watching an anime, so I won't be around. Yeah, that's fine then. Oh my god. See, that's why. That's why I wanted this rendered. I didn't realize it wasn't rendered. Oh my god, it is so struggling. I thought it said it finished. Alright, we're starting match. There it is. That's the community video rendered. River, how's it going? I haven't got a selfie in a while. Fair enough, Lou. Night server, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Jay, did you see my post? Yes. Hold on, give me a second. Got so bad, I can't remember it. Did anyone notice? No, that wasn't your post. I can't remember it. So bad. Oh, yeah. I had the invincible guy fighting in that Demon's Domain, Dark Dominion. Right. Which one's the lowest? Let's attack this one, guys. This will reveal the vault. This will reveal the metallic structure underneath the vault. This one. So let's get it done. Have you started customs already? There was like 5 people ready up. Look, because of it, Zone will probably push us out immediately. I reckon Zone will form down here. Spoilers? Oh, sorry, sorry, yeah, my bad. Maybe it's changed, you never know. You need me for survival. Spirit bright, I'm out of sight. What do you reckon next OG season is gonna be futuristic? Nah, it's gonna be maybe old school. Like, wouldn't it be fun if they did like, or they might leave this for the season afterwards, but like maybe like an old school western vibe for Tilted Towers or something, maybe. You need more people? It's we need thousands and thousands of people. Well, that's a problem. You're using a teddy bear. I have every single one but the scientist. Well, we should get a remake in Season X. OG. Where's the fourth person, by the way? Yo, Jay, remember the ice one? Someone accidentally broke it, made it early with a plane. Oh yeah, I remember that. I mean, I completely forgot about it until that, but yeah. The fourth person is your sidekick, for real, for real. Fair, bro, fair. Reality rays can change anything in a blink of an eye. You know why you can't get Hulk? You're not using a shovel. We're not using a Netherite pickaxe, essentially. That's why. And that is obviously more of a problem. I forgot you actually farm materials out of this. No. Why has that gone off centered like that? What? Why has that done that? That's so weird. Why has that done that? Weird. Thank you very much. Oh, why I did that. Anyway, next customs. We'll just be at the dig site, you know. We do love a community event around here. Chat, thanks for the 9 likes as well. I appreciate your support on the stream. Let's get to a quick 10 likes. 10? Anyone? There must be a 10th like out there somewhere. Or is the 10th like to friends we made along the way? Hide and seek game? Eventually, but obviously I feel like we'll just be focused on trying to like just do a dig site stream. I know we're nowhere near finishing off, but what the hell? What the hell? Can't glide? I want to glide! I thought you could glide! Oh, I just wanted to float around and see if I can see that fourth guy, wherever they are. I don't remember. The keys are so like a weird bit of Fortnite lore. Ah, great skin. Why did he not come sooner? Oh no, I'm not sure about the mallet, but not sure about the mallet. Okay, can someone do the maths? How many people do we need to get this broken in? Like, no, we're not even. Oh, this is down to 12 minutes. Sorry, this one. Sorry, I see what they were shooting now. Why is the health bar so far up then? Move over to this one. We get it done, guys. We get it done, chap. Chat, I can see 11 likes as well. W's. So yeah, community video we up tomorrow. What, 5 p.m. maybe? Somewhere around that. Oh my god, this is... What's happening? More of these player things in game. I mean, I'm trying to think the last time we had something like this. Was it Pandora's Box? Well, I feel like we had something else more recent, no? But Mechanic, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. We had a Doom event. Oh yeah. But not in. No, that doesn't really. I wouldn't say the Doom event counts similar to what Pandora's Box was, because Doom actually happened live and it was an event, and it was kind of fixed. While I'm talking more about what we're doing here, which is closer to like, you know, when it breaks, it breaks. Doom was. I mean, yeah, I guess it was. It would have broke when it broke. It would. You know, yeah. Maybe. Maybe. Yeah, I guess that, you know, Doom, you had a health bar. Everyone in game saw the health bar, but it was part of the event, and I think they did end up weakening how much health he had to get the event done quicker. So I don't know. I see why you will include it, but at the same time, I don't know. Are we getting Guns and Roses in a festival pass? I have no idea, bro. No idea. Oh no, the storm's coming in. No! We need Michael Jackson. Who's the festival pass now? Oh, Love LeFay or whatever the name is. Is it the Fae? Actually could do Michael Jackson. Imagine if the Lego released 2 sets being like a Dark Harvester drones, the Dark Harvester. Like actual sets in real life, yeah. Cube Cradle. They should release the island. I mean, you could probably make the entire island now with all the Lego pieces you actually have. Oh. Damn. GG's. Oh, the person who ran out of zone didn't stick with us to... Anyway. Right. Oh, did I ping that one? No, I didn't, did I? Oh, I've already lost the code. Holy. Great. Love when that happens. All right, the code is Mr. Joy 1. Mr. Joy 1. We're doing Fortnite OG. We're doing dig site customs. Go to the dig site. Let's break these rocks quickly. The quicker we get it done, the faster we can open the vault, right? Isn't that how it works? I'm in. Good. Right. Guys, also, if you want to input the code elsewhere in like the Fortnite item shop, it's just Mr. Joy. mrjayowhy. Hashtag add a hashtag every partner. Thank you to everyone who used my code to buy such skins as Ben 10, the Norse Gods, Kim Kardashian, the Cupid Kitty, Cutie, Red Jade and Green Jade, Naruto, whatever, balloon thing. I don't know. Anyway, thank you to everyone who used my code in the item shop. I'm the only one that queued. I changed the codes to mrjayowhy1. Can't find a code. What do you mean you can't find a code? It's literally just add 1 to it. And make sure you're on the EU, yeah. Make sure you're on the EU. Chat, thanks for the 14 likes. Can we hit 20 likes for this stream? We are 6 away. Appreciate the support on the stream. Appreciate the support on the stream. Wait, what? What do you mean background operations, can't he? It just isn't. What? Oh, I'm so confused. No, that's not what I want to do. All right, code mrjayowhy1. That is the code for this game. Make sure you're on Europe servers. I don't know. All right, we're gonna ready up on 4 minutes, so you got 30 seconds. If not, you miss out this game and you have to get in another game. It's just how the way to how the cookie crumbles. What episode are we on? What episode are we on? The communities? Alright. Well. Okay, you got 10 seconds extra there. Episode 35. Crazy. Right, next. Yes, please. Monetization. Yes, please. All right, cool. When's the room tour? It's literally a 6 by 4 room. Chat, thanks for the 14 likes. Jay, pick a song for me to play on my guitar. Wonderwall. That's pretty easy. Hooray. Jay, what do you mean? Wonderwall. I don't know, whose custom matches are coming out? No idea. No ID. No ID. Wait, it's back up to 1 million. What? Is it even in gameplay? What's happened? See, you suck a few people and then the game doesn't even work! What? Plot twist, you're supposed to do it in one game. There's no way we pickaxe it from 99 minutes to 12 minutes. I don't even move now. A scientist as a wait, what? Oh. So where is this other music coming from? Oh god, I would have been stopped now otherwise. What is happening, guys? Why is nothing working? Is this how the cookie crumbles? Is this seriously how the cookie crumbles? Alright, it's gone down like 200. What is happening, guys? I do feel like now the dig sites have been absolutely just bugged the entire season. Oh, it broke! It broke! Oh, this game actually might be dead. It might be a dead game, chat. Actually, might be a dead game, chat. Actually, might be a dead game. I know nothing's moving on our screen. That's why we were confused. I was about to say we'll probably end up just breaking anyway. But it seems like we were lagged off the server or something, so we were just getting no actual figures moving. Anyway, well, which one's the next one? I guess it's this one, 86 mil. 91 mil, 96 million, 94 million, 96 million. Don't we want to break... I feel like we want to break this one next, don't we? Is that not the most logical one? This reveals nothing. Why are we breaking? Why is everyone breaking this one? It's got to be this one, though. Oh. Oh, I almost eliminated you. Why are you jumping into my pickaxe? Anyway, we saw one broke, chat. Kind of, you know. It is what it is. So it's a visual glitch. Which one's a glitch? The fact that it's gone, the fact that it's there, the fact that it's the fact that we're doing another one. Well, what's the glitch? Also, chat, thanks for the 17 likes. To appreciate all the support on the stream. Well, thank you very much. That's a massive W's, as they say. I think heavy sniper in it will be as effective as you think it is. Can anyone get the old pictures up to see what... I feel like there's at least 2 layers anyway. The HP not working. I mean, it would make sense. It wouldn't work in custom games. No, don't. We can see events in custom games. I mean, back in the day, you had playgrounds. Back in the day, we could effectively do it faster and just spend all day in playgrounds. Watching a cube roll, battle labs, playgrounds. Still work in custom games. Maybe unless it's a thingy event, an actual. So drain the energy from it. How much damage are you doing for each one? See, back in the day, you just used to just get loads of people with like towing guns and just shoot it for hours, but can't do that anymore. Gone are the days you can see me jump into a battle labs or playground and just, you know, do it there. I honestly feel like I would have been caught if you had done Durburger version 2 thing where they put the zero shot pop everywhere on a random on Earth. Oh, like an advertisement thing. I think how they done it is pretty alright. Alright. Yes. Right, the storm's coming in now anyway. We'll go again, chat. We go again, chat. And then we can actually log into a new game and see if that was actually a thing. I wouldn't be surprised if we get into another game and the rocks just somehow appeared. Have I lost the code again? Oh, it's one of these. It's one of these days. Okay. Interesting. Interesting. Okay. Alright, chat, the new code is Mr. Joy 2. Mr. Joy 2. Which some of you have already assumed by the looks of it. We've got 3 people in here. Why is the real Zaragoza keeper just fighting people? What the hell? I've never seen anything like that in my life. He's actually, oh, then he's doing off the bit, mate. Holy, he's getting like a 20 game ban for that. Holy, he's not playing again even next season. Anyway, code is mrjayowhy2. We're going to the dig site, trying to dig out. I don't know if it's glitched, I don't know what's happening here, but you know, we're trying, chat, we're trying. Also, if you do want to support me in the Fortnite item shop, consider using creator code Mr. Joy. Let's try and get 1 million people using my code. Ah, that's a bit unrealistic. Maybe a couple 100,000, maybe. I don't know. What, 1 billion? I don't think there's 1 billion people playing Fortnite. Oh. I'm not doing another GIF, by the way. Hey, it's up to you. Oh, I thought it was Barcelona's B team. It's Levante. What the hell, man? He's getting like a 20, 30 game ban. Have to be. Jay, please play guitar on stream. You asked me to sing, I sing. Get no views. I play guitar. I do everything you tell me to do, and it doesn't work. When the room tour? I've done a room tour. So this is it. This is the room. You're looking at it. Looking at the room. Yeah, no, nothing else has happened with the Voyager. Alright, we're starting game. Oh, I did say we had to. Oh, okay. Oh. I don't understand after all these years that it's still a problem. I am the main guy. I'm the one putting the code in. Why can't I keep the code? The code is not going to be on screen anymore because I'm not changing. I'm having to change every game. Please listen out for code changes in future, please. Honestly. Are you looking at a wall? Playing on a piece of chipboard? I mean, what's chipboard? Pretty fine houses in the UK are either built from brick or concrete. I'm joking. Oh, okay, so we've got this. This is the one they're going for. Why are you kicking it? No, it's not going to work. Oh, no, it's not going to work. Anyway, I can't show you the room at the moment. I've got documents laying around everywhere, so I can't show you the room at the moment. Yeah, but nights. I don't. I think there's a few people who can do that. I don't care if that even is the case. It shouldn't. Like the first person who should lock out the code. It's just laziness, honestly. I haven't sorted it. Okay, maybe not laziness. They've got other things to do, but at this point, it's just the most annoying thing. It means changing code. It means having almost 30, 40 people, and it just interrupts the thing. Anyway, who was streaming yesterday? And it was an absolute mess. Oh, that was it. It was Big Craig. Or was it Big Craig? I don't know. Anyway, whatever was going on, it was causing him to ready up. But even though he had like 30, 40 people, 60 people in a queue, only 10 people would ready up in. I know obviously we're getting custom upgrades, aren't we, to custom matchmaking, but honestly, how they've taken years to get to this point is just, do you care and attention? I don't know. They've obviously got other things to be doing, but it would have been nice. Once a code is used, it should be locked out, so you don't have to change code every time. What would be stronger, A and X or 0 point? Okay, is the rock resting? Wait, what? No, I think it's wide awake, mate. You think the million points is going down is because of people? Okay, let's just stop doing it again. It's nothing to do with the fact we're in customs. It's never been the case ever. Like, ever. Not grenades! 18 likes. Appreciate the support on the stream. Chat, if you haven't said hi yet, please consider saying hi so I can say hi back. That's kind of how it works. That's how it works, chat. Ultimate, hi, how's it going? I mean, people haven't already said hi, you know. But yeah, fair. Ultimate, hi again. Also, if you're watching on the shorts variation of the stream, the vertical stream, make sure to double tap the screen. Hi Ultimate, hi Ultimate, hi Ultimate. Yes indeed. Already down to 81 million by the way, chat. Tube, how's it going? Hi. Corruption Sci-Fi, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. Welcome to the stream. Oh my god, guys, it's getting now. You watch a karaoke video like now? Great, wasn't it? Fantastic. Honestly, I've signed myself up for Britain's Got Talent. What do you think, chat? Oh. What do you think, chat? Oh, I haven't done any karaoke today. Fair enough, who? I don't know who that Jules skin is, but they're definitely very cool and doing so much damage. And they've been fighting for hours. I'm surprised their hands haven't got tired. It was fantastic, Jay. Your voice is amazing. Appreciate it, Corruption. Thank you. That's what we like to hear, chat. Positive affirmations? Affirmations? Positive affirmations. 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 That's the word I'm looking for. That's what we like to see. That's what we like to see, chat. Nah, as well as visualization. Visualization is a strong mechanic to have through life. I tell you that for free. Unless you're a member of the channel and technically you're paying me to say that. So, the people who don't, yeah. On any explosion that could break the boulder faster? Yeah, but it just resets in game, doesn't it? But I guess you could get a torrent. But back in the day when we had playgrounds and battle labs, you could probably just sit there all day. But now we don't, so there's that. Oh, it's sorry, the visitors turned up. Crazy. You're doing next costume good to hear sci-fi. Chat, thanks for the 22 likes. Oh, the likes are going up now. W's in chat. Yeah, this exciting is spoilers. Spoilers. It's because I said that earlier. Sci-fi. Someone actually said that. The visitor slowly slid onto my screen. Slide. The visitor slid onto my screen. The visitor slided onto my screen. The visitor. Right, well, there goes another go, I suppose. Eliminated by the storm. Fair enough, chat. W's. You know what? I kind of had to change a key anyway because I've forgotten what we are at. Okay, the code for this game is mrjayowhy. mrjayowhy 5. Hope just betrayed you. Crazy. mrjayowhy 5. Get in there. Let's get back into the game and start trying to get this next stone, next boulder. That's what we gotta do. Ooh. Uh-oh. Oh, no. Fair enough. Alright, that's me for the day. Hope the stream goes well. Sorry, Foo. Crazy. Chat, yeah, make sure to put in the code, make sure on Europe, and obviously select Fortnite OG. Elite Reader, how's it going? Welcome to the stream. But yeah, have a good one, Ultimate. Alright, chat, I'm going to quickly go for a minute. So, the code is mrjayowhy 5. The pin comment tells you what the mode is and the server, and you just need to listen out for the code, because obviously that keeps having to be changed, and it's just... Anyway. It is what it is, I suppose. I'll be back in a minute, chat. Right, chat. I'm gonna give you another minute, and then we're ready up. Chat, thanks for the 22 likes. I appreciate all the support on the stream. We're already up in 5 minutes. Actually, 5 minutes of elapsed time on my screen. So make sure to get the code in, which is code mrjayowhy, mrjayowhy5. Make sure you're on server Europe. Make sure your game is set to full IOG. You have a big pickaxe. Awesome. Right, chat. 5 seconds. 4, 3, 2, 1, and start the match. I just punch again. I have really strong fists. Fair enough. Whoa, we got here. We got the scientist. Corrupted by chrome by the looks of things. Ah, my twin. I got the order as well. Doing. Hello. Original? What, original Lex? No, that's not the original Lex, technically, no. The original Lex is from Chapter 2, Season 5's Battle Pass. Oh, you're the origin. Okay, fair enough. Almost got the whole 7 here. Oh, I thought the dig site wasn't going to load in then. Oh my god, it's twinsies! Come back! $78 million! We're getting there, guys. We're getting there. I think, to be fair, chat, this is probably what the Dark Voyager should have actually done instead of just rifted in and looking at some stuff. He probably should have actually gone to the dig sites and digged out the vault himself. We've just got the scientist, the origin, and Dark Voyager hanging out. I have every Lex skinning game. Fair enough. Good collections of skins, to be fair. It's not a bad selection. You lot are not meant to be chilling. What are you guys doing? What's the origin doing chilling with the Dark Voyager? What's going on here? And now the scientists? We're meant to be working. We're meant to be working, guys. What are we doing instead? What are we doing? Yeah, lock in. It isn't great time to get back to work. Exactly, no. Exactly. Fair enough. That's maybe how the Dark Voyager turns 0 when you're evil. Crazy high five. Oh, sorry. Thought it wasn't that. Why can't we borrow the excavators? Ah, it's too easy. Because Fortnite and law almost left me hanging there, Jay. Okay, sorry about that. Oh, I do apologise. My bad, chap. The most evil thing I've ever seen in my life. The Dark Voyager being out of time to the scientists in the Origin in a dance. It's truly terrifying. Seven are giving you your show? Yeah, no, I do agree. I do agree. What happened there, bro? What are you looking at? Mickey Beam! Oh, that's back in the item shop, isn't it? Code Mr. Joy. Code Mr. Joy in the Fortnite item shop. Oh yeah, I just realised. Ow, sorry, that's my bad. I forgot I did that to do the other thing the other day. Alright, chat, thanks for 23 likes. If you are enjoying the content, make sure to hit the like button. Appreciate it. 23 likes for a Sunday evening stream. It's kind of mad, so appreciate it, chat. I do appreciate it. Be back soon. No, we're here, we're working, we're getting this down to 7.5 million. 75 million, not 7. That's a different number, Joe. Big difference as well, yeah. Huge difference. Damn, strong hits. Right, G's chat. We've done some good work. We've at least, what do you call it? You know, contributed. I satisfied you with the amount of weapons in the game. Could there be less or more? I don't know. The whale was immediately murdered after Jay died. Regardless, I killed 2 people. Oh, that's not very nice. It's not very nice. What do you mean? Right, unless I plan on streaming till, what do you call it? Unless I plan on streaming till like 10 o'clock in the morning, I don't think we're going to be able to break all nose by the end. It is what it is, no chat. It is what it is. At least I've done my bit. At least we've done our bit towards the contribution of the dig sites, yeah? So, W's, you know, pat yourselves on the back, yeah? Pat yourselves on the back, chat. Also, have you seen the merch? Oh, I'm actually also wearing it. I keep forgetting that. Womp womp. The turret got destroyed. Wrong answer. Wait, what? I swear I've got to stop coming to the end of some of these conversations. I need to be more vigilant. I need to be more vigilant, chat. What is happening there? Huh? It was me. I was the Dark Voyager. Fair enough. Good little combo there, by the way, with the Morgan Mist's pickaxe and battling. I did like that. I did like that. Okay, well, okay. I'm trying to see if we can do like some reacts. You know how it is, Chip. Are we doing more customs? Yes, we are. Yes, we are. I probably lost that now. I'm reading that code. All right, the code is now mrjayowhy6. just want to do some reaction content on some topics. Dun, 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 dun. So yeah, 7 people already in chat. We're gonna ready up in 3 minutes, by the way. So if you want to get involved in this game, make sure you have your server region set to Europe. So you come across here, settings, and then here. Set your server region to Europe. Input the code. So you scroll down here, hit the custom key, put in the code, which is mrjayowhy6, and then start the game. And then I will ready up, and then I will start the game. So it's code Mr. Joy, mrjayowhy6. I'm Jeno. Nice. Oh, reaction content. Maybe try not to laugh, or reaction videos with YouTubers. Loot station or club. What do you mean reaction videos with YouTubers? I watch their content, or they're somehow here with me. Unfortunately, they're sort of time zones are not in line with mine. I got offered to do a video, but then I saw their video and how long it was, and when I had to be there, I wouldn't have been over by like 3 a.m. and I'm just like, I'm not in for that. I just don't suit well with the Americans or the North Americans, essentially. It's a bit of a rip. Is it 5% from the creator code? I've made Epic so much money. Holy. That's not really how it works. I know that's not how it works, because you would have bought it. You just use a code and stuff. But damn. Can we switch? I get 95%. They can have 5%. Oh no, that be shutting down the company at that rate. Gonna be original Lex to this game. Nice. Alright, I did say we ready up in 3 minutes, so I was a little late in there, chat. I was a little late in there, chat. Oh my god, it's our original Lexer. Let's go. Chat, thanks for the 23 likes. Got the Ice King. Oh my god, twinsies! Have you recorded any footage of the community video? It's uploaded. It will go live tomorrow. We'll go live tomorrow. I'm sure there's a lot more people in your area. Wait, what? Oh, you mean in terms of content creator? Well, not really who does the same sort of Fortnite content I do. I can only think of 2. Actually, no, if it's... Actually, no, unless I'm forgetting someone, it's actually technically only 1. Because the other person does solely lore content, so it doesn't really... $73 million, chap. 73 million. How many people got working this side? We've got 1, we got 2, we got 3, we've got 5. We've got 8 people here apparently. Probably finding torrents or something. Be visitor reality unknown. When's the flu X mrjayowhy clan? What? What? Chat, I think this is 23 likes. Let's try and get to 30 likes this stream. That'd be a good like goal. Oh, that's what the logo for the elites look like. It does kind of look like the same, the White Labs logo to some extent. Not really, but if you put a slit down it, it would look actually like White Labs, I think. Why don't any of the later versions of Lex do something like that? That's not fair. What is happening here? Why are we getting boxed in? Why are we getting boxed in? Why are we getting boxed in, chat? A million every game. That means this will be done in about 70 minutes. No, that's not how it works. 15 minutes. Oh, that's it works this side. Oh my god, it's like 4 hours. That'll be for days. I'm gonna be here for days, chat. Hopefully someone else will take over from me once I'm done here. Gotta keep the commitment, keep the vibes. Yeah. Chat, thanks for all the likes on the stream. Thanks for jumping into some of these custom games as well as we help the old dig sites, I suppose. We've at least seen one break, technically, I suppose. So, W's. Damn. Pretty sure like 99% of the damage right now is coming from my punches. Yeah, 100%. Alright, 99%. Yeah, of course. Where's everyone gone? This won't pickaxe itself, chat. What are we doing? Yeah, definitely that's a stronger punch. Keeping that one. Keeping that one. That would definitely get broken very quick. I'm getting surprised. Surprise. Supplies. So I just got that meme in my head. Supplies. Surprise. Some fries. So let's see, 71 million, 87 million, 89 million, 95 million, 93 million, 94 million, 88 million, 87 million. Where did the canyon go? Oops. Now, what, is she using her mind now? Chat, thanks for the 23 likes. W's in chat. If you haven't subscribed to the channel as well. Oh, also, has anyone checked out the filming another series on the whatever channel, Windrose? Actually, quality game. If you do have some time this evening, well, after I've done streaming, maybe check out them videos. But it's kind of good. I think it's kind of good anyway. That's just my point of view. Sorry, that's my bad. That's my bad. Ah, that's my bad. The aura is doing damage. Indeed. What am I listening to here? Every fish in the sea. There's too much going on here. Too much overstimulation. Overstimulation jump. What happened there? Them green eyes are crazy. Okay, whatever. The storm is in. What the hell? What was happening there? Right, GG's. Right, I think that's not custom today. I think we've made a dent anyway. We've helped, you know. No one can ever say that we didn't put some effort towards the dig sites. Because I missed the first two ones. I thought I want to do a dig site stream, so I've done it now. We'll give ourselves a pat on the back. Yeah. Pat on the back. Pat on the back. So chat, how are we all doing? What are your plans next week? Work, school, I guess. Oh no, don't remind me, Jay. Don't remind me. We were the main help. We are the MVPs. We're the most valuable players at Fortnite. Buying your merch? Fair enough. Thank you very much. My plans next week is to sleep and binge anime. Like, what? What? I haven't slept in 3 days. I would advise you. I would advise you that you should probably sleep. I feel like sleep is very important. One of the most important things, as well as eating, drinking, sleeping's up there. You know, exercise probably takes a few steps back. Sleeping is up there. Yeah? At least like a champion. You know, if it was a football team, it'd be like. It needs to be in like the Champions League spots every year, every season. That helps lower your blood pressure, the cholesterol probably, and resets everything. It's important. I'm joking, by the way. Yeah, but are you? But are you? Only drink Monster. Who needs water? I feel like, well, Monsters kind of a lot of caffeine in Monster. So to be like specifically for like energy. I also only eat pizza, but it's fine because there's pepperonis on it, and that's meat. I mean, is it pepperoni and pineapple? And at least you're getting fruit as well. So yeah, if you're having pineapple and pepperoni pizza, you're at least getting a good amount of meat and a good amount of, you know, fruit. So, you know, Gotta weigh it up, I suppose. Ugh, pineapple. I'm not really a big fan of pineapple. I mean, yeah, it's not my go-to topping. One, does not belong on pizza. Two, pineapple sucks anyway. I don't mind pineapple. I hate pineapple like drinks now. Like, there's nothing worse than going to a shop and thinking, like, for me anyway, I like to get like a carton of like orange and mango or something. But you look, you go, bang. If cartons I don't tend to make a mistake on, but if it's like a clear sort of bottle and it just looks orange and it says orange on it, I'm like, oh, cool, okay. But sometimes it's pineapple and orange or mango and pineapple. I'm like, no! Oh, I thought it was orange and mango. What have I done? I've made a terrible, terrible mistake. Oh no! So it's really sweet. I can't drink pineapple juice, like anything. I don't care if it's mango and pineapple, orange and pineapple, apple and pineapple. It's so sweet. I'm like, God, I can't drink it. But apple on pizza, I tolerate pineapple flavored things, but I'd rather not have it. Well, I go to eat a lemon flavored sweet, but it's actually pineapple. Oh. Say, I'm not a big fan of the, like, you know, like orange. What is it called? Terry's chocolate orange or whatever it's called. Like flavored, scented, or whatever orange is like. Oh. Don't mind the fruit, don't mind the drinks, but anything else. Well, no, I'll come around to carrot cake. Carrot cake used to be a bit of a thing for me, but now I'm like, you know what? I don't mind it. Dark chocolate and raspberry. What's the sea salt stuff? Like salt and whatever chocolate stuff. Like salted caramel. That's banging. Is that just a standard pizza? We're not bringing a standard pizza to the table here. Why is there only pineapple on pizza and no other fruit like apple on pizza or banana on pizza? What? I mean, there probably is, to be fair. But, it's not going to beat, is it? Pineapple, mushroom, cheese, chicken. The last thing that should be on the list is pineapple. Even if you like the stuff, I think that can't be your go-to, can it? Can that seriously be your go-to? Exactly, dark chocolate with sea salt. I'm not crazy into like dark chocolate, but like anything between like milky chocolate and some like not like 199% cocoa or anything. That's just too bitter. My taste buds are not like, it's not dancing. They're not dancing with that. They're insanely terrified. I don't think I've. I mean, I haven't had anything today apart from breakfast. Probably make something to eat once I finish this stream. Someone I know put kiwi on pizza. They would never see. What? Kiwi? That is not a key to good pizza. What's the code? That was the last game. That was the last game of customs. As I said, I want to do a bit of chatting now and maybe a bit of reaction content, but I can't find anything to react to. Now, I haven't already seen, to be fair, off stream. The code is pineapple does not belong on Pizza 5. Fashion show? Nah. I missed out. Damn. Guys, anyway, if you do buy anything, consider using credit code MrJoy for item shop, mrjayowhy. Thanks to anyone who uses my... chat, type 1 in the chat if you currently use my code so I can thank you personally. Cecil? What's Cecil got to do with it? It's Flu, thank you very much. All games, thank you very much. Appreciated. Hey, when I got enough members, I can have that. I can have the other hand in. Until then, we go with what we're doing so far at the moment. Night Surfer, thank you very much. Appreciated. W's. Do I have a favourite faction? For me, it's got to be the Last Reality. In terms of Fortnite, if you're talking Fortnite factions, for me, it's the Last Reality. So much intrigue, their technology, their weapons, the characters that come from them, the Cube Queen, stuff like that, I suppose. So good, so good. That Nothing, the Herald, Chrome, Dark Voyager. It's got to be. Anyone still arguing Geno, I would just point out the fact that wherever the Dark Voyager goes, the game's loading screen turns into a glitch effect, which is obviously got to be synonymous with what happened at the end of Chapter 6. Involving like this loop being reset and the cube writing and the whole Last Reality vibe that came off and that, I just don't feel like. So if that is the connection, how are we discussing Geno? Chrome is so underrated. It's a shame we have so little cosmetics, and one of them is exclusive. Mine's a 7 because I like their suit designs and I guess their vibe. Oh, mine's a 7 because okay, fair enough. Fair enough. Fair enough. They have the coolest characters, like the 7 cool and all, but it's almost the same suits. Talking about the Nothing's Gift, yeah. I mean, that was, you know, you had to do some grinding for that. I don't mind a bit of grinding. I would like grinding games anymore. We don't know. It is what it is. Good pickaxe, L skin. What, we're talking bites? We're talking bites. Bites, I think, is not bad. Like, he's got some edit styles now that are pretty alright. I still want to know why there's canonically a loop in chapter 5, 6, and 7. Yeah, I guess the old 0 point shard theory is kind of cooked. I guess I guess it's to do with the simulation. I guess it's just another extension, so there was more than just one island in different realities. Bytes was actually, well, how it correlates, because obviously you had a Peace Syndicate member dragging them out the trailer, not the trailer, like the. So you think it would have correlated, but it just didn't. Fracture. Yeah, you had Twin trying to grab bites, which obviously there was a bit of a story plot. Because Twin was part of the peace syndicates, and the peace syndicates were active at that point. So, no idea. Welcome back, Ethan. We've just been chatting. Just turning into a bit of a chatting stream. What's my favourite storyline skin? Dr. Sloan. It's gotta be Sloan. Fortnite is starting to get boring for me. I'm only level 23. I mean, yeah, you know, it's Fortnite or gaming in general. So obviously I'm seeing a lot of this talk at the moment. Fortnite is boring. Gaming is boring. I've watched a few videos recently about gaming being boring, or watching people play games, or trying to find something else in terms of gaming, or gaming's very stale at the moment. But gaming isn't designed, or was never really designed, to be played constantly as it kind of is now. Like, it's a very different environment. Like, when I started gaming, you would jump on after either going to school or work, coming home, then maybe playing football, then going to see mates, and then probably jump on and play games. But in the last like 6, maybe 10 years, that has definitely changed. And now it's like, we've got a game all the time. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. And it's like, you don't need to. Obviously, I'm talking from a perspective that I game a lot. You know, I do content, I make money out of gaming, so I tend to game a lot. But that's because I enjoy gaming. And when I stop enjoying it, or it becomes a little bit boring, which it does do, just step away. And if you're only on level 23, I presume you've done that. Find something else to fill up your time. And then come back to it. Like, anything will become boring or even tedious if you just keep doing it constantly. What can I say? I had an 8-month break of gaming last year. That's crazy, Ethan. I remember you kept saying that you wasn't jumping on the game, were you? I was about to do that, Phil. I was gonna start singing into it. Anything more to add to that? But yeah, going back to the whole point about gaming being boring, or definitely in terms of viewership on Twitch and YouTube, in terms of gaming, there is a lot of creators saying that has fallen. Or in terms of even Fortnite views, that's another thing that has been a topic of conversation now for over a couple of years. Now, views on people's channels are falling and they're not as big as they were. I don't know if that's the change in the time or the change of content, but as you can see, actually, we're saying this in a time where Fortnite numbers are back to pretty good numbers. We have 356,000 on BR, 114,000 currently on Reload. Say the world is back. We had 100k on that a few days ago. It's up to 35k, 30k on Odyssey. So there's definitely people playing games, definitely people playing. But yeah, I don't think there's necessarily need to play games all the time. And if you just get bored, that doesn't mean Fortnite's doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean Apex is doing anything wrong. It doesn't mean Ark is doing anything wrong. It just means just step away from the game. Like, is this like a weird thing now that games are failing if you're just not playing them constantly? I feel like going out and traveling, especially since summer is coming. That's another thing. Like, numbers will actually go down soon. Once summer hits, no one's going to want to be on a computer all day. Unless you somehow got, you know, aircon, which definitely in the UK, obviously, Americans like to take the mick out of us for not having aircon for 3 days of the year. But you're just not going to be in. Like, it's been hot recently in the UK. So, you know, I've been outside, seeing people, enjoying the weather, sitting in the garden sort of thing with a drink. Why do I want to be on a game in a poorly lit room. Because I stream. If it was just gaming, that's very different. But because I stream, I'm like, oh yeah, let's jump on, get people in chat, have a conversation, play some customs, do some squads. Obviously, for me and for content creators, there's obviously a few more things to like. Oh, it's not just let's play that game because I want to get to that story point. You know, I want to. If you're doing a playthrough for battle royale, it's a bit different. You want to jump on, get a few limbs and win games, or you want to play with your mates. That's why BR is quite limited. But in terms of like story games, you want to do this, do that. But obviously for content creators, it's different. You got other set of things that you want to stream because you want to get on. I want to see you guys essentially. What do you think happened to Sloan? No idea. Yeah, the whole timeline being changed or whatever in chapter 4. I mean, yes, it seems like obviously some of the audio logs changed, so obviously some things may have been changing, but not enough to... I don't think so anyway. I don't think they need to change anything. Like, the idea wasn't to change the past or the future or the whatever. It was to extract the energy of the 0 point and to reignite it in the present. Which obviously proves there's no... Well, should have proved that the 0 point isn't actually omnipresent, to be fair. That would be a sticking point to the old omnipresent theories. Do you think there's a chance we get a new 7 versus Corrupted 7 season, or just skins? I think there's a big chance of that. It's pretty warm out right now. Exactly. Jay, get up the storyline. What storyline? Oh, the fit. Yeah, I don't even know where that is anymore. Well, goodbye. No, through about to tune in. Have a good day. Fallout Map Drawer, thank you. Appreciate it. Have a good rest of your day. Appreciated. I still believe that OG made a branching timeline, but the Big Bang brought us back to the main one because the story of Chapter 1 literally changed in OG. But that's we don't know what OG is now. So you only believe in and going off the assumption that OG is still in the past and is playing out that Chapter 1 season. But no, nothing's changed in the future. There's nothing that we go in there going, oh, well, that's changed. Unless you presume that that's what the Reality Unknown 7 are. But that's just, honestly, that's stupid. If it branches, then we're done for. I would become very less interested in the story, and I would probably actually stop doing storyline content. It's just stupid at that point. There's no set of... Anything can happen. Which isn't always a good thing, by the way. Well, we used a time machine and there was a 0 point there, so I think it's just chapter 1. Oh, yeah, if we're talking about OG, if we talk about chapter 1 OG, so if we talk about OG or chapter 1 OG? I talk about OG. Well, yeah, okay. But that's self-contained. Timelines don't change other realities in most other fiction things. I would love to hear some dialogue with the Foundation and Jonesy reunited. I think that OG Visitor is evil, has been no talk, and the Visitor, another reality, he did talk. Well, no, the Visitor did talk. The other Visitor talked. The whole get the 0 shard from reality 616 was his idea. He just didn't have actual any dialogue or voice actor. He did talk though. I don't know why that theory went on for so long, even when he did actually say words and say dialogue. Fluid. The time machine created a Athena variant in the past of chapter 4. So if the 0 point had moved to chapter 4, that's why it was there. I mean, I feel like that's the easiest way of explaining it, but there is obviously some contradicting facts. I mean, it's Fortnite. Even some set in stone things have contradicting facts too. I believe that's the easiest way to explain it. So it would make so much more sense. We went back to chapter 1 and Jones simply driving around caused the butterfly effect and the cube got the 0 point and didn't break. Well, actually, the timelines can't branch because Sloan proves that timelines can't branch. Oh yeah, you know what? No, we're not having that conversation. Doesn't Sloan change and mean the timeline cannot branch? Because even the timeline branch, it'd be a different Sloan every time it branches. That wouldn't make any. Would it? No, that should be messy as hell. The fact that the timeline is a butterfly effect proves that you can't branch timelines. Which I think Ethan was kind of saying, but I was a bit behind, to be fair. Yeah, whiteboard for this. Two seconds, chat. Right. Dig site's at 60k now. Oh, there's no way I'm gonna log onto it. That was probably sent about a minute ago. Do you remember the Durburger on a Blitz Reality? Yes, I do. No Minecraft today. Not today, chat. What was my last message before the last one? If the timeline didn't branch, then why haven't we seen the effects of the story of Chapter 1 changing? Because they didn't change it, that wasn't the point of it. Because they didn't change drastically enough to... Anyway, how would we see any of the effects change or not? What changed? What changed in Chapter 1 that would have affected Chapter 2, 3, 4, 5, 6? I mean, there's actually only one thing, but... See, there's too many contradictions. It really needs to be worked, to be fair. The only thing... Could you guess the only thing that makes... So... Characters that showed up after Chapter 1 would surely be like... Yeah, Midas didn't tell us any changes. But the one thing that worries me is the mech. The mech. Like, that would be the only thing I'd be like, yeah. Chapter 1 OG. Sorry, I'm trying to write with my opposite hand here. Chapter 1 OG, there was no mech. Or as we say, cog. So, yeah, there was no mech. No mech. Also, when you explain like the multiple 0 point theories, I never get it. So, say we had 0 points, each had a Omniverse. We call it the Donut Verse for now. So you're saying they don't intersect, and these multiple donuts do not intersect with 0 points. So in your head, how are you explaining the shard? That these donuts got multiple little donuts from other realities that each have a 0 shard within them. But somehow the visitor reality unknown has come from a donut with a full 0 point in and doesn't say... To be fair, I would hate it if the visitor could have simply have said, oh, yeah, our 0 point, and then it would have been... but he didn't, because that isn't the case. And if we think as a plane of existence, as a 0 point, and this is actually one Omniverse, and we have another Omniverse, like, what? That's a... To be fair, the word Omni means to describe everything within one thing. So there can't be multiple Omniverses. To me, there should be one 0 point, and the 0 point could be omnipresent. So lines of reality intersect. They don't intersect. So these two don't intersect, but intersect with one 0 point. But there's multiple realities that intersect with the same 0 point. Yeah, but they never intersect. So these crossing lines, for whatever reason, just don't intersect in their planes of existence. That's one way you could understand it. That the 0 point exists in every single reality, but they never intersect. Although how you would then explain it cracking would be a bit difficult. Because obviously if they interacting, then they fall in. See, so that would make the shards work better, but then they would all fall in that singular 0 point space. I don't think that makes sense. Also, I keep seeing people. Oh, I do not know how to spell this actually. Something like that. I keep seeing people explain the Einstein-Rosen bridge as being, say, this is chapter 7. Yeah, chapter 7. And that is chapter 1, yeah? And the vault in both. So you obviously got the vault at Dark Dominion, and you got the vault underneath the chapter 1 map. And everyone's like, oh, but the vault sits in between. I'm like, I get what you're trying to say, but that doesn't work because this isn't really space. Space is so flat here that nothing can actually exist at this point, because it's only a bridge to connect two things together. So nothing can really exist. I mean, in terms of Fortnite lore, I don't see why you could explain that's how the in-between works. But at this point, so how? What's your guys' opinions on the in-between and the vault being in similar locations or even the same thing? Because that is like one I'm a bit like, I don't really know how to explain that. But how it should be is that, yes, the Einstein thingy, so the vault would be its own thing, each having its own interconnected sort of wormhole, yeah? To one specific vault. Because then that could explain in chapter 6 and why there was the portal thing at Utopia. So that could be its own portal to the vault, and the vault is accessible through vaults. So each one would have a singular point, and they wouldn't exist in the middle because that's a bridge. It's an opening to two different points, so you wouldn't have something in the middle. Does that make sense? Because in a community video, okay, you can't really see. In a community video, for the last like 4 weeks, we've been discussing this. So that's chapter 6. So each one having a vault to transport them directly to the vault. The vault doesn't actually exist in chapter 1. I would argue the vault is similar to wherever Geno went with the imagined in that thingy reality. Like another sort of reality at a time or something. So I see one more person do the wormhole theory and try and say the vault is in the middle. I'm going to lose my mind. Space and time, nothing exists in it. It's too flat. You look like a 2D flat image of, like, you look like a cartoon. But you take it, you're taking real life theoretical theory and you're using it in a game that doesn't actually exist. So who knows? Rapid, how's it going? My point for multiple 0 points is that two timelines, entirely different existence. What's the center of existence? The 0 point. And then there's not two 0 points. That's still one 0 point. That's explaining this theory. That there is multiple realities that sit with a 0 point in the center of it. Not saying this is how Fortnite explained. Yeah, so there's multiple directions. But these things don't ever intersect with one another. They sit in different planes of existence and they never bump into one another. Because they don't vibrate at the same frequency, which is established law in Fortnite, by the way, in 0 point comics. Batman says a line like, we can send people home to each reality because we know where they are because they vibrate at a different frequency, which is actually a DC law. Which I don't know if that's actually theoretical law, by the way. I don't know if that's science. But they don't ever intersect. But that would still be two different timelines. So that would be the 0 point. There'd be one timeline here. So say that's reality 0, and this is 783? I can't remember what chapter 6 is. So the 0 point exists in that time. So obviously reality 0, as we know, the island is here, right? Back in like chapter 1, the island 0 point is on the island. So if you travel to reality 783, there wouldn't be anything here. Unless the 0 point is omnipresent and it appears in other realities, but that might not be. That probably isn't the case. But for example point, the island is here in this reality. So that would explain the weird map we had in Batman 0 point. So yes, like in here, okay, that's where the reality is, but that's because that is sitting on that realm of reality, but this is another realm, but it's all interconnected with a 0 point. So this could be another reality, or there could be islands that sit on top of each other, but they don't interact, because then again they're sitting two different pieces of reality. So there could have been an island that is in the same quadrant of space, but not in the same reality. So that was how actually, you know what? This is probably the best way of explaining this. So let's start that from the top again. So what you're saying is two timelines are both connected to the 0 point. So the 0 point created all reality, yeah? But we're going to do it, actually. That's where I went wrong. I'm going to write Athena down there as well. So imagine the beginning of reality. That is a 0 point, yeah? Then you had Athena. Then you had that timeline, which is reality 0, right? But obviously, the creation of 0 point created the Omniverse. So it created realities that sit in the same sort of space but don't intersect because they're different realities. Yep. The 0 point blows up, Athena, we go to Apollo, which is the other side of the map, and then we get chapter 4, right? We don't know, after Athena gets destroyed, we don't know if the 0 point traveled to a different place in reality 0 because of certain dialogue, but certain dialogue does suggest that the 0 point moves to another reality that could sit in the same space, but now it's not on the reality 0 one, it's on the reality, another reality. But they all intersect and interact with the same space, but they don't intersect because they vibrate at different frequencies, which is established law from Batman 0 point. That's the easier way of explaining. Because how you've seen the timelines, you're seeing them go, okay, that's reality 0, that's reality 3, that's reality 2, and then you're saying they branch in. That just gets messy, which you can do. Because they all start, and it becomes becomes like a web instead. Maybe a circle? But we're getting that, right? In terms of realities not intersecting with one another, yeah? But being on top of each other, but you're able to travel, yeah? Because that's why the 0 point can cycle through realities. But I'm on about timelines, not realities. Realities are they're intersect. They're the same thing. Because you're still thinking that there's different omniverses. Realities are timelines. So okay, now you're creating different sets of rules here. Timelines. So we could still explain timelines like this. So you have reality 0, right? So you're still going to work off the assumption there's multiple omniverses, and each omniverse is an individual timeline. Which I just want you to move away from that for the second, because that's too confusing. Okay, let me try and explain this. So the one with the longer line is. How do I do this, mate? Oh, actually, I think that just overcomplicates it. No one's stupid. We're chatting about something very theoretical, Leon. Like, we're trying to explain something that doesn't really exist, but does exist. What? 2 seconds, chat. Two seconds. Oh, God. No, that's not right. The 0 point is omnipresent, so it exists in every alternate universe. And that's what I believe. What do you believe when it breaks? Does it lose that ability? What? Yeah, but he's not saying that the 0 point appears in every single other island. He's just saying that in some realities the 0 point could be present in just space. Although the problem is that is the 0 point always cycles through reality, so it's not always present. If that's what you want to extend that, to me that sounds like if it is omnipresent, it's only it can choose not to be omnipresent when it's not. So when it's cracked, it can't be omnipresent. But what I'm thinking, it's not in a flux state. It could be omnipresent. Okay, reality 0. 783 and chapter 4. Oh no, chapter 4. Wait on. Chapter 4. Okay. So I've done it. Well, I've done color coded now. Okay, so that's how it would look like. Yeah? So do it like this just helps you sort of break it down more in your head. But essentially, all realities effectively sit on top of each other. And are accessible through ways of travel, essentially. Through pure portals or sideways rift, you can traverse these realities that should never interact. Established from 0 Point Comics, Batman said, when sending all them guys home, they vibrate at different frequencies. So reality 616 or reality NF1935, they vibrate at different frequencies, so they should never interact, right? So the 0 Point could appear maybe in every reality if it's together. The moment it breaks, I presume it probably might use that, and that's why the 0 shards are scattered across. Literally, Jonesy kind of said that, to be fair. So we have reality 0, right? So I suppose you can jump into the 0 Point, which then jumps you back out in 783, which was the chapter 6 map. Good stuff. Awesome. Or you can jump in it and travel. See, chapter 4 for me is still the sticking point of where that actually is, because there is dialogue and there is even loading screens that suggest that's reality 0. But Paradigm and what was her name, Amy, saying it's far from home, and it does sound like they switch realities. So you could argue that the 0 Point was at the from the beginning of time, it was at the 0 Point of reality, the singularity. Yep. The 0 Point never moved until it was forced to by the last reality. Where you could argue that it moved from the center point of reality to somewhere, which kind of was said by Optimus Prime in some capacity, or was it Trianox? Your reality, chapter 4 map sits on the edge of reality. So it's sort of saying there was nothing out here. Or you could assume from some form of dialogue that it shifted for reality, yeah, which we really need a different colour for. So it's still in the same spot, right? Oh no, I've messed this up. That it's shifted reality, right? And it's still in the same spot, but it's far from the original reality, which is reality 0. So it doesn't appear in reality 0's reality anymore because it's shifted reality. Because at that point it was running scared and trying to run away from the last reality, so it's trying not to be omnipresent. I guess you can think of that either way. And again, okay, that's what was the main point I wanted to talk about. Timelines and reality in this are the same thing. In my eyes, if you change anything in reality 0, you're only going to affect that timeline. To say that it affects any other timeline is a bit difficult to comprehend in any form of logic. It just gets too stupid. Because then you're changing actual alternate realities that all started from the 0 Point and you're trying to alter them. It just gets confusing. This keeps it condensed to the point where it doesn't get confusing. Because then if you're trying to say reality 0 splits off here, while at the same time everything else splits because of changes in one reality, that's illogical. So anything that is changed only affects that timeline. So because of the changes in chapter 4, I guess you could argue that chapter 4 is actually, it was in reality 0. But again, I would argue there is a good argument to say that the 0 Point had moved by that point and wasn't present in reality 0 anymore. Even though there is a loading screen that says reality 0, but again, I think they were not convinced by what they were doing at that point. The timeline has an omniverse. Nah, because then you're changing everything about a whole omniverse from singular changes in a reality. Because also you got to consider that if realities like NF1, what is it, 1935, like in DC, there's time alternate changes all the time. Same with Marvel 616, yeah, they change their realities like every week. But in both of these franchises, by the way, that any messing with the timeline only affects the Earth that is it's condensed. Unless they're doing like a reset, and then it's outwardly, and it's at the end of the run of comics, and it's the end. Unless you want to do that, then that's resetting the whole of existence, which goes back to the 0 point. To be fair, if you're going to say in terms of Fortnite. See, if you believe branch timelines, as Clueless just pointed out here, you are only affecting that timeline. Which I said, that's why we were arguing, me and Ethan. We're not arguing, but we're agreeing with the same thing. If the 0 point did move to Chapter 4, you're going back in time to a Chapter 4 that never really existed. Because if the 0 point did actually move realities, which is an argued point, because there is certain dialogue and there is certain information and certain loading screens that actually says reality 0 by name. But then we're also meant to believe that paradigm and singularity, that we are far from home and we have moved. Which if you're still in the same reality with a 0 point, I don't know why that would be even mentioned. Makes no sense. It only makes sense to mention that if you moved realities. Right? But that's what I'm saying. So we went to... So say this is the present point of each reality. So they went back to Chapter 4. But then you would say... If they did travel back in time in a different reality, how do they make a fake Athena? Easy. The Simpsons season. The Simpsons map didn't technically exist, but did at the same time. It used both of the realities that it was somewhat connected to at that point, Chapter 7 and Springfield, and it somehow still existed. So... We had, which could explain the whole Einstein thingy, and then it somehow created like a. So I'm trying to think of this. So we had the Simpsons, yeah, which is not. We had the Simpsons, then we had Chapter 7. But for whatever reason, when they were messing around, they were trying to teleport themselves. The portal, the wormhole, what do you call it, messed up, causing a temporary reality. But if they then want to explain it on a bigger style and say that each reality can break and thingy, that's not what really happened here. That reality didn't hold together very long, and it now no longer exists. Right? Because that's what happened in Simpsons season. So Chapter 7 was still... The war was going on there, while at the same time, somehow, how the iron makeup was somehow formed the Simpsons map, as well as Springfield. So Springfield was still a thing, but for whatever reason, teleported half their characters here, and none of the Chapter 7 map. That was just for plot, I suppose. That was just for plot. Or, I guess maybe... messed with the Simpsons, but then kept Chapter 7 and then somehow fused on the Simpsons timeline. Aye. So what I'm saying is, even if Chapter 4 was done, so the 0 point did move to another reality, and they went back in time, the 0 point could have been like, wait a minute, or reality could have been like, wait, you're traveling with the 0 point when it was in another reality at this point in time. So it kind of twisted the two realities to form a OG that really did not exist. Then you could explain changes already there, which was the barn being flipped and things already messed up before we even got started. So when they travelled back, that timeline fused, it didn't actually exist. But yeah, the effects of it was still being felt through Sloan, but at the end of the day, it didn't technically exist. I don't know. I think that's the easiest way to explain half of the stuff. Otherwise, but what I'm saying is timelines are realities. But what you're saying is, it's so. What is Flu saying? Let me see. you're saying we have a 0 point, and then we have multiple different realities. Which I guess, to be fair, actually, kind of looks like what it did in Big Bang, if I'm being honest. But which, to be fair, of course it will, because it's still a multiverse. But what you're saying is there's a duplicate of this. So what you're saying is there's somehow another one of these, right? So you're not saying, if you look at Big Bang, right, you're not saying that each of them were an omniverse, are we? We're saying each of them are a reality. Omni means everything as well, and we've already talked about that. That would be a multiverse, which is in an omniverse. But I would argue that how they made it sound in Foundation comics, I would argue that you might have a point, because that was poorly worded. But there can't be. Omni means to have everything, so to have multiple of everything it doesn't even work. It's like young Sheldon. Anyone watch that when they're trying to say, "Oh, zero doesn't actually exist"? It'd be like everything. Well, what is nothing? But nothing is zero. But zero is nothing, so you can't have nothing if you don't have value to it. And that was their argument for the whole episode. And this would be the same argument, but in reverse. And you're trying to explain that everything would have a multiple of everything. For Simpsons reality it did collide. In terms of it created a pocket reality that didn't actually exist from one, and they didn't collide. Sorry, you are kind of. But what I was explaining, they kind of mangled in some interdimensional spaghetti. But the Simpsons and Chapter 7 and Simpsons reality originally still were a thing, even though for plot every single Simpson character came to this the mangled reality that is not actually a reality and that shouldn't exist. It's just because of the Zero Shard kind of like worked as a reality stone temporarily. Because obviously Chapter 7, the war was still happening. So the whole month, we're like trying to work out what happened there. I wouldn't believe Fortnite Ricky, no. I mean, they could be right, but by the dialogues and by what was said in the teaser trailer and the facts, the other things. Because, Simpsons Island? You get what I'm saying anyway. That was a crazy long talk, by the way. It's amazing what you can do with a whiteboard. Okay, so we're not going to go to Fortnite Wiki. We're going to go to the trailer or to the event. Sorry, what was it called? What was the event? Oh, I can't. Something about friends? No. Friends. Something. Oh, what was it called? It will come to me in a minute. What was it called? Collision. No, the event before the big event for Chapter 6. In a minute, I'm just going to see it anyway, but I'm so annoyed that I can't think off the top of my head what it was called. Oh, something on something begin. Was it something begin with U? Damn, I'm so disappointed. I can't think what it is. Where is it? Where is it? No. Fortnite Mares. Oh no, it was Welcome Overlords. Ain't Overlords. How can I not remember that? That's so disappointing for me. Yeah. So disappointing. Sorry, guys. So this is the actual wording, right? But then we also led to believe that the events were still carrying on. So it was... I think there was more dialogue that confirmed this, by the way, but I can't find it.
Submerged in a cynical brain.
Island?
Warning. Multiple realities have merged in a cynical brand mashup.
One, it's a little bit of a joke as well, but I'm sure there was more dialogue to suggest how this was happening, by the way.
Wow. Springfield Island.
Huh. It's incredible. Now to conquer it.
That didn't work well for them. Great pause, by the way. No, it's what I'm saying is they still existed. So it was some like there was more dialogue that sort of suggested it was like an entanglement. So the islands somehow were linked. We've looked this up before and I can't quite remember it. The islands were linked in some sort of weird thing. Like different army. Can't be different army. I mean, at this point, I'm Fortnite could do anything, but if it's a different army verse, I'd just be so disappointed. I think I would cry. I think I'd cry. Probably because of the treehouse. Yes. Leon, thanks. So yes. So I guess if you were still in Chapter 7, you would have seen some things where you're like, wait, what's going on here? So it showed that the island kind of merged, but then also because the Dark Presence was still destroying the island, and they were fighting. And by the time we got back, the island was destroyed. So at the same time, Chapter 7 was still there. The Simpsons, obviously, Springfield was somehow there as well. But you had this sort of interlinking entanglement, which was still a different reality because they still had to travel from this Simpsons island to Chapter 7. So there was definitely something. I'm not saying the islands merged, but it's some level of entanglement. That's the word. That's the hot pocket word I like to use. Entanglement. So what I'm saying is, if Chapter 1, if the 0 point did move realities during the end event of Chapter 3, because Paradigm does suggest that the island, that they were somewhere different. But they could have still been in Reality 0, and I know there is loading screens. Literally said Reality 0 for Chapter 4. So I guess we might have still been in Reality 0. But it's a way of explaining why one Fortnite OG looked different from the start, by the way, before Jonesy started messing around with time, yeah? Because the barns were one way round or a few other things. And obviously, they did Fortnite OG in the end, and they got near enough spot on apart from a few other things, I suppose. But to me, so temporarily, you had a new reality where 0 point was sitting in, plus, because they went back in time, the reality somehow, what's the word? Comprehend? Sort of like, again, this is all just theory, I'm just chatting here, I'm not saying this is truth, but I feel like this, if you use the Simpsons Fortnite logic, you just say that somehow the same level of entanglement happened. Now, the 0 point knew it was back in time in another reality, so they entangled both realities. And that's why, the OG timeline was a bit weird to start off with. You're saying a timeline is an Omniverse, I get that. But I mean, I get what she's saying, but I'm like, I would argue, no. It's because if you go back in time in one reality, and it can affect other realities, I don't know. I just look at every other IP and how they deal with time travel and how they deal with. They have a multiverse, by the way, and every single one, it's self-contained to their reality. It's self-contained to their timeline. It's self-contained to their Earth. Like if you watch The Flash, that's how they did that. Like spoilers, I suppose, if you haven't watched The Flash. When Barry caused Flashpoint, he went back in time in like maybe 10, 15 episodes when Earth 2 Harrison Wells came back. He was like, oh, here's the speed lab, guys. And you know, Harry was already like, Barry, what have you done? This wasn't here before. So because obviously they wasn't affected by the changes in time. That also is the same in Marvel. That any timeline is only affected by that self-contained reality. I just think that's an easier way to explain it, and trying to argue that one change in one timeline, and yeah, I know it's reality zero and it's quite an important one, but yeah. And to be fair, I know we started this by saying mech, and I feel like I didn't explain it. In Fortnite OG, the only difference is the mech didn't get built, to our knowledge. So that means that mech would have not been around for quite a big deal of the events. So that should have changed that. So the IO should have won in Chapter 3, no? Without the mech. So that's what I would argue. But I guess the mech could somehow be a thing later on. That's the only like bit of a yikes point, I guess, if that is a big deal. Because that could end up becoming a big deal. Chat, if you are enjoying the stream, make sure to hit the like button as well. If you're watching in vertical, you can double tap the screen. If you're watching old school style, I guess you can hit the like button. Also, this is all just, we were just chatting. This is not me. This is just me going through different options of timelines, really, essentially. That's what we've been doing here. And shorts, I don't know if you'd be able to... Actually, no, we were full cam there. You would have been able to see what was... barely. Actually, no, I think on shorts, I'm appearing as like a horizontal stream. I checked earlier. So you would have been able to see that, actually. Tell a lie. Tell a lie, chat. I don't know when that said flu, but in most things, a timeline is self-contained to reality because it just makes more sense. Like what Ethan says about variance. Like when the 0 point exploded and it created multiple realities, like you would believe that there would be similarities or variants to reality 0, right? So there should be loads of different Athenas out there, right? From the start. So to me, the last reality could have simply have found another identical Athena. No? Simple as that. And that's what OG is. So, if you could find two realities that look similar, you could literally play the same game again and again. And if you throw in the same loop mechanics, you could literally have a Athena every single time from duplicate out there. Because that's how realities work. They're usually subsequently a little different each time. You know what I mean? So you have reality 0 and reality 1. Literally, each reality will have a world or sort of that looks exactly like Athena Chapter 1 map with different variants every single time. That's why maybe the Chapter 6 and Chapter 7 map looks like one another, because they're all coded to the 0 point. And it's like small variations each time that it creates a reality, essentially. So, for example, what I'm saying is, if you could find another Athena, and the last reality could once again play their simulation game, and go, right, at this time, we're going to throw a cube onto that island, and it's going to go to the vault, which maybe there's only one Athena with a 0 point in it, but we're going to see if the events play out similar. Oh, wow, the events play out exactly the same. Amazing. So that's why I'm still like, I don't know if OG is in the past or in the present. I still think it's in the present. That would be my theory. Because you could just keep doing that until the last reality gets it right, essentially. Okay, oh, we failed because we did this. Oh, we do it again. Oh, we do it again. And that's why Dark Voyager has set all that stuff up. Okay, so we want to try and do what the 0 point should have done originally. So we just need to have the same results. Let's get the cube in there. Okay, nice. Or get the visitor. So that's why I believe the Chrome 7 would have been a great way to work with Fortnite OG, but at the moment we're meant to believe that's a visitor reality unknown thing. But even if there's different variants of the 7, you could somehow work into the theory that if you just let them interact with the same events, they would do the same thing. But then I can understand why you get the whole different 0 point theories. But, okay, they leave a sideways rift open, and then we drop the cube in, and then we go from there. And then we play out the events the same. Someone will try and defend the 0 point vault from getting broken into. Boom, boom, boom. And it just plays out again. The same thing every time. And that is a simulation, really. Oh, clueless! Don't throw. We know we've had this conversation. That's why we're like, why? If the 7 of our reality is meant to be technically 0 point, why have the 7s never ran into one another? We've had this discussion, which is then why Flu's probably arguing, well, there must be multiple 0 points because they've never ran into each other. Which I would argue, I'm like, yeah, no, you're right. Well, you're not right about the multiple omniverses, but you're right to be so like, what's happening? Why? What do you mean? But yet again, I would argue, well, each of the 7s from different realities can have a different purpose. They don't need to have the same purpose, do they? So, say reality 7s, but then there's a whole different little ball to add into if you've never considered this. What would you have to consider is the 7 on an omniversal team. They're from different realities in the Omniverse. So if there is one 7, if there is different 7s, you're also meant to presume that each of the 7s came from different realities. That's when it kind of goes, what? So you're meant to presume that somehow reality 0 had Paradigm, reality 6-2 had the Visitor, but then you meant to presume reality 51 had another Visitor that somehow interacted with another complete different sets of 6, and then somehow created another 7. That's when you kind of like, maybe there is different omniverses. Because at that point, I'm just like, what? Variants do exist, but on the pretense that you're presuming that 14 sets of variants somehow managed to form 2 different groups of 7. And we're also meant to presume that there might be multiple 7s, there might be 7 7s. So 148 different people somehow never interacted with each other, but somehow from different realities created different groups of people. It's fine to presume that the Avengers from different realities, self-contained, can somehow come to the same conclusion and create an omniversal team. Or, create the Avengers of Earth, reality, whatever, and then how they work in Marvel. You know what? Let's go DC with Justice. That's easy. Earth 1, Earth 2, Earth 3, Earth 4. They're all self-contained to Earth. We're meant to presume that 7 somehow, different realities have somehow come together. That's what I'm saying. But somehow they all come together, but only one of the 7s are the protectors of the 0 point. It does fall apart. Look, I would agree that it does kind of fall apart when you look at it like that. You're kind of like, well, I don't know about that. I don't know how they work that one in. And maybe an epic dev is listening to me now at the moment, or one of the writers going, "Oh my god, we messed up. We didn't consider that. Oh no." But everyone, you do get what I'm saying about the 7s, right? But if they're all self-contained to one Omniverse, which we do believe there's one Omniverse, okay, you know what? We might have to get we're getting the whiteboard out again. 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 Oh, on. Okay, I know how to do this. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Power, psi, found, order, imagined, origin. Visitor. Right, chap. Here is my 7. So, we have scientists, we have... Right, new pen. We have the paradigm, the scientist, the foundation, the order, imagined, origin, visitor, right? Okay? So... we have reality 0. We have 6, 5, 9 kind of confirmed. The scientists, a variant of reality 1, shall we say. We have foundation, unknown, order, unknown. Sorry, that's confusing because I'm not saying unknown. Okay, I'm saying unknown in terms of we don't know the reality number. I'm not saying they're, order unknown, imagined unknown, origin, so we'll just say the last reality for the sake of saying last reality, and the visitor is also unknown, right? But let's presume that the scientist came from reality 1. Okay, let's say the visitor came from reality 0, because obviously, originally the idea was the visitor and the visitor and the scientist were reality variants of one another, right? So the comet didn't hit, which changed, which is another sign of a timeline which only affected that reality, by the way. Can we just make that clear? But the reality at that point were intersection because the lines of frequency was being blurred because one of the rift beacon devices where the reality was being forced to be put into that singular reality. And we also meant to presume that, so kind of the same thing that was going on with the Simpsons season. But then we also look back at the rift beacon devices. Now, each of the 7s were hiding out in them different realities. So at that point, you go, okay, the scientist came from reality 1, visitor reality 0, the origin from the last reality, the imagined from 656. That was the Oathbound reality, wasn't it? We're going to, obviously, 656. Might have been 4 something, actually. 656. Which is great. But then, if it's an Omniverse, and we're meant to presume that there is a different 7, we have to somehow presume that the scientist won't come from the same reality as this scientist, and this foundation won't come from the same reality as this foundation, and this order. So each of these people can obviously have variants from different realities. So 659, 658, reality 2, foundation. I didn't pick one for him, did I? Reality 10, reality 11, 656, 655, 655. Last reality. The origins are hardest, but we can just presume at the origin there's different origins. So maybe he did come from reality 3, and this origin comes from reality 12. Visitor comes from God knows what, reality 101. Alright? Oh no, sorry, there was actually a visitor. The unknown reality actually had one. What was that one? Can anyone remember that off the top of their heads? 151, was it not? 151? Oh, I don't know. But then again, that's another set of 7 that somehow come together in the same Omniverse, all coming from different realities, obviously apart from these two, which are sisters. But then we're also meant to presume that each of them sisters will have a different Geno. A Geno that did not form the Imagined Order. Maybe formed a coffee shop. Called the Imagined Order. Who knows? But then why stop there? Different side of 7s. And then we get another variant. But then there's also another conundrum to throw in. Maybe we don't have a variant be the order of this 7. Maybe that's a different guy. Who might have come from the same reality as the origin, but be a different guy. But never know the other origin. I know that's a bit confusing. But you take the origin from reality 3, who is the Cube King, and then another guy from reality 3 who just happened to be a different guy, but somehow met this group of 7 and said, "Oh, do you want to be our origin?" "Oh yeah, I'll be that." So that's what I'm saying. What you say? I'm saying what the story's telling us. What do you mean? Snapshots are not variants. Snapshots are snapshots. Oh, okay. But people are getting what I'm saying here and how stupid multiple 7s are, right? We agreed, aren't we? We agreed on that. So that's why I still believe there's a chance that the visitor reality unknown is actually our visitor and he doesn't know because he's been rewritten and he just doesn't know. And there isn't actually multiple 7s. Yep. Anyway, buy the merch. Links in the description. By the way, guys, this chair's pretty good. Yeah, it's going soon, by the way. So, might be able to get a clip out of me soon. Yeah, look. I heard it go crack the other day, but it hasn't fallen yet. Wait, what's happened to my game? You also can't say that, Ethan, because of the drones. And there are multiple reality. If there are multiple omniverses, drones just being able to do that that makes no sense. But I don't know. I mean, it could. If there's multiple omniverses, it's gonna be a bit cooked, in my opinion. Right, well, that's that. Chat, these are 26 likes. He's trying to say, how can people who come from different realities also have alternative reality versions? No, I'm saying, how can they form different sevens, but also apparently then look after the same 0 point? That's what I'm saying. I don't know where that blue pen went. I've got a lid for it. Oh, wait. That's a red. Oh, no, I put the wrong pen on. It's just not complicated. To be fair, we still don't know what the deal is with the 7. In my theory, timelines are different existences. But what are the existences? The Omniverse. There can't be multiple Omniverses. There can't be multiple 0 points. You can't branch timelines. There is only one Omniverse. I mean, you can branch timelines, but since Dr. Sloan explained the butterfly effect, branch timelines would be not avoided, at least in Fortnite. That things ripple forward. That was literally her words. Things wouldn't ripple forwards if it was a branch timeline scenario. And the timelines and her messages keep changing, but him still being in the same spot would argue that the timeline was the same timeline, but changing. For entire existence, there is one Omniverse. What? But you said there are multiple Omniverses. So you're a complete different existence. Which means a different Omniverse. Yeah, but then you're arguing there's multiple Omniverses and multiple 0 points. So there's different existence. What created that existence? A different 0 point, right? Or a different catalyst. So what would the reality numbers be if it's a different existence? Will you just start again? I mean, I've just explained how there can be multiple 7s. But this other 7 needs to, one, either somewhat know about the 0 point or somewhat has had a complete different function. But they must have known about 0 point energy to have a rocket. And how it worked. And rift travel at some point. They must have known about something. I think there's only one 0 point. I'm trying to ascertain how the 7s never ran into one another. If there is a complete different 7. So that's why I go back to the point that our visitor, Reality Unknown, is lying. And that he is a corrupted visitor. Chat, I think it's 26 likes. If you do buy anything at Fortnite item shop, consider using create code mrjayowhy, mrjayowhy. #ad partner. Thank you to anyone using my code. Could be a branch. The problem is branch. Dr. Sloan thing nullifies branch. You can't have branch timelines. Time ripples forwards. The effects will be felt. The message changed prior. To me, that explains that the timeline worked on the fact that the timeline would completely keep changing itself, so it didn't branch. For me, that means that it can't be a branch timeline effect going on. And the fact that the dates on the time machine correlate with what Kato Thorne was doing, and he didn't have any subsequent branch of the timelines. The timeline would. The problem is with a time machine, you wouldn't then have been able to get forward in terms of like. Because the whole point was to extract the 0 point energy. You wouldn't have been able to go forward. You would have been. So, as you know what, not the special one, whatever the Avengers film, I can't think what the person is, she explains it the best. Like, you might be making someone else's life better, but you won't be making mine if you removed the stone, you branch the timeline. That you can't branch. Like, the plan was there, should have been not to branch the timeline. But then you're arguing that which I'm sure you disagree with, if you change the timeline, you're only changing the time in one reality, not several different ones. And that was to go back to the 0 point, which would have been there if you were in a different timeline. And you branched the reality. It's just branch realities don't work in this system. That's all I'm saying. Unless you've got another... anything to add to that? Who watched Loki, Deadpool, Wolverine? That's different realities. That's different realities. They still have an omniversal presence in terms like the Watcher. Have you watched that show? I can compare it to the Flash. Yeah, but no, that backs up the fact that it's a... So how do you think that works then? They're not different existence, they're different Earths. Which is different realities. They all spring in from the same start. That still works now. Their timeline is their different Earths, or I can't think how do Marvel number in their realities? We need. Oh, in terms of Marvel branch, okay. But what is the problem with Marvel at this point? My point is not to dismiss it, and Fortnite might go in that direction, but what is the problem with branch timelines? And one, you also think in case of different media, and some of their universes are self-contained. They don't mean to interact. They're different. So they have like, so Which Fortnite doesn't. Fortnite is one singular story. When you're talking Marvel in terms of different ones, and they have sometimes their own self-contained universes, which they can't. Like, comic book writers get absolutely ridiculed if they end up doing something they're not meant to be doing. So, say for example, you have, I don't know, like a Wolverine continuity here, which then has several branching timelines. Yeah, they wouldn't, like, say if you have the MCU, like, sometimes you might have a fun little interaction with them, but essentially it's just, like, obviously the MCU has a story where, yes, they try to cut off branches, and essentially in the end you do have branches, but it's self-contained within that MCU. And sometimes, yes, occasionally then you have Deadpool universe, but then at that point it gets eaten up and thingied. But they're two different stories that have been intersected with each other, when Fortnite isn't that. I understand what you're saying, but that doesn't need to be the case. Also, you have comic book continuities, which sometimes is in their own little thing, and sometimes Marvel needs to restart them, which they do every 20 years. But you're kind of... There's no need for Fortnite to do that. There isn't a different continuity. There isn't a different media. There is. That's the point. That's the Omniverse. You understand? In terms of, like, what would you call it? The game modes. So there is different realities and different media, but they're the same. They're in the same thing, and they're self-contained. The Omniverse is what you look at every single day. The lobby. The lobby is the Omniverse, and these are different realities that are accessible. They're not in different... They're accessible from one clear point. OG is not in its own thing, plus that. And its own. This is an Omniverse of a game. One media, one story. So it's one... Yeah, I understand what you say in terms of Marvel, but Marvel is its own monster. In terms of, like, different media, different continuities. Like, again, they have their own problems. Like, DC are trying to DC's ripped up their whole book, the whole Omniverse. They're trying to centralize it because they saw it was a problem. That people, like, it's sometimes good to tell different stories and they still have their own continuity, but obviously with games, animated shows, movies, obviously Gunn's gone in there and he's completely said, no, we can't be doing that. Even, you know, talking about the Flash show again, you know when they did Crisis on the Infinite Earths, DC actually went to them and said, don't destroy everything because they're interconnected universes, and we do sometimes, even though in the end, obviously, it got ripped up by Gunn and the new era, but they said, you know, you can't destroy the Omniverse because they are somewhat connected. Well, yes, I know what you're saying. There's branch timeline theory. But you also have the... Well, okay, both senses, yeah, that could be true. But you... Well, no, because of the tapes. You would have different tapes. Because the same one would exist. You have different tapes. The same tapes wouldn't be changing. That can't be a branch timeline. You would have had different tapes. And you would have different Sloans. And you're somehow saying that each one destroys another one. But then you still wouldn't have a branch timeline. You would still have essentially the same thing. But I would argue, I would argue that OG was actually a subsequent, some sort of level of entanglement similar to the Simpsons season. Now, OG wasn't actually OG, but stays the same. Yeah, so the butterfly effect, which doesn't constitute a branch timeline theory. You want to keep the timeline the same, So you don't think it. This, Yeah, he had chrono rifts in his time machine, if that's what you're saying. He used rifts to travel. Which is a different form of rifts, I guess, essentially, how it was explained. Or chrono cells or something. I can't quite remember. I need to go and look it up. What is it called? Not chrono. I know it's called chrono cells. Just do it in a commentary pose. What? You know, I don't look at community posts until. Right, would just be missed out on the video the next week then. Same with remix. The whole entanglement theory explains remix pretty well. Oh, fair enough. The butterfly effect. Ripple effect, dynamic timelines. Timeline updates itself instead of splitting. Branching timelines, you create a new alternate reality. Ripple timelines. You write your own present. Yeah, what I'm seeing here, like how Sloan explains it, it's just isn't branch timelines. It's like it's a butterfly effect. The grandfather paradox, essentially. Well, to a certain extent. Because then effectively you would be able to go back and kill your grandfather. Because then it wouldn't be you, because it wouldn't be traveling on your timeline, you would have changed the timeline. So then that would explain it. So, on your theory, you're saying that you could go back and kill your grandfather, right? Well, I'm saying you couldn't. Or it would ripple forward and change the timeline. So you could, but you would die. Sorry, okay, let me say. One, you're saying that you wouldn't die. I'm saying you would. And that's the big argument in terms of Fortnite storyline. Are you dying if you kill your grandfather, or are you somehow surviving? Because the timeline has branched. So if you somehow go back to the original timeline, your grandfather would still be alive because you are alive. Or, no, I'm not talking about paradox, by the way. I'm not talking about you shoot him and he somehow doesn't die because you don't. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying that when you shoot him, it solidifies, right? So one timeline would be a ripple timeline where you're killing him would eliminate you yourself from the timeline, right? A branch timeline would branch it and would have two different side effects. So one where you would probably die, but then you wouldn't exist, and it would split the timeline. The original timeline stays exactly the same, but the action creates a new branch where things change. Yes. But because you're in the past, with the thing changing, that can't be a branch timeline. Oh, let me think about this more. It can't be the same one, can it? Because it's still linked. Because you're branching from the present, not branching from the past. The past timeline is remaining as it is. Is it? Oh, God. Because you're at the point of the present, the point of the past. Because Sloane's talking from chapter 4, right? Can't it? Might have to bring out the board again. So you have Dr. Sloane, right, in the present in chapter 4, right? There was 3 variations of messages. Doctor 2, 3, and 4. So oh my God, what you're saying is, see, my way, it would just be easy explaining that it solidifies and changes every time, and it's so easy to explain. But what you're trying to argue is, one, the past and present is splitting sporadically. So at the moment, is that good luck? So I'm not trying to dismiss your theory, but your so we have 2, 3. Why have I wrote 4? We have 3 variations of Dr. Sloane's message, right? I don't even know where to start. So what are the events of OG? Okay, we have the floating island with the 0 point. We have the floating island without the 0 point. And then we have some barns looking weird. Kevin went around the island, didn't he? Same. So what you're saying is, you have 1, and then you're somehow arguing that you keep going through time, which then splits off to 2. But in my eyes, this would split as well. So you would have 1 that goes normally. So you can't. Time travel is just a nuisance. That's why I like things to be the ripple effect, because because what I can't understand from branch timelines from this, I'm sure something will happen to the past. So you would because you've got the original timeline, right, which is also running. Sorry, yeah, you got the original timeline. This is what I don't like branch timelines. You have the original timeline where you don't have the 0 point. We have this, and you have Season X, right? But you also have this one where Season X, we have the 0 point over the island and comes down. But then you also have 3 different things. That this one is connected to Nat. Nat Sloane is 1 is here, 2 is here, 3 is here, another one is here, and then also another one is here, but another one is here. That's what I'm saying. I don't like branch timelines because it's not about the future you also have to change. It's also the past. But then I'm also like, does this branch timeline go back into the original one? But then also creating 3 subsequent different ones. That's a mess. When easy, it's... Because that's what should happen. But I guess Fortnite could argue that it was branching, but somehow didn't affect the subsequent other one. So what, there's 3 Dr. Sloans, but 1 Jonesy, by the way. Because Jonesy wasn't there. Yeah, but the visitor saying might be branch timelines, which, yes, I've brought this up several times as well, but that's like saying, if they are right, it will be the end. Was it the end? No, it wasn't the end. It wasn't the end. And I always used to argue, you back me up on this one, I always used to argue that line was a lie. If they are right, it will be the end. The 0 point exploding in Season X would have not been the end. It would have been exactly where we are now, with the 0 point shattering, leaving it exposed to the last reality, which of course could mean the end. And I guess that's what the Imagine Order was sort of going for. But it being the actual end after exploding was a lie. It was half truth, but a lie. So Visitor just going, it might be perhaps branch timelines, isn't fact, isn't definite. So. But no, he did say that. I wouldn't argue against it. I would just argue that he doesn't know what he's talking about. Why he uses the words perhaps. Which I think is perhaps, isn't it? He's British, so yeah. Alright there, Governor. Perhaps a bit of branch timelines here, but perhaps I don't know. The diverged realities from the starting point of reality, from the 0 point exploding. Yeah, that makes sense. But to diverge reality would be exactly the same as branch timelines, which would be weird. I still think that doesn't need to be the case. Because that just gets because of every single reality, then it just gets ridiculous. It needs reality numbers wouldn't matter then, would they? That's another thing you got to consider. Reality numbers would be a mess as well. So what, reality 0 would have reality, because you would have the original realities, wouldn't you? That sprung from the 0 point. But then you would have diversions that wouldn't be in their own reality. So it'd be like reality 0/1, 0/2, which I guess makes sense but one, it's unnecessary, and 2, you wouldn't call you would call they would then be different realities in entirety. It's just not needed. I don't think that would work. I guess they could do it. I'm not arguing they couldn't do it. I'm just arguing it's messy and pointless. It's better to just keep them self-contained. I'm not leaking anything here, am I? No. Right, okay, so here's how I explain my multiple Omniverse theories. So here's a timeline in Marvel and a timeline, it's branch timelines, which is what marked in red. Now replace those branch timelines with realities. That's what the Omniverse is, but in Marvel, that's not the only timeline. Now separate timelines like X-Men timeline, where it's branch timeline, alternate reality, instead entirely different. Yeah, but I would just argue that's the point that Fortnite, Marvel has different IPs, and Fortnite doesn't. Fortnite doesn't need to do that. Both of these timelines are completely separate, just like the multiverse, omniverse. The theory allows there to be 0 Point OG without it breaking the story. Yeah, but then you talk about 0 Point, which is creatable, not separately. It does mess up. It does mess up, unfortunately. OGs had no backstory like that, a timeline without it being messy. In my theory, the only way to travel between omniverses is used with powered by special energies like from the last reality. And then why don't they just travel to one without the 7 and just grab a 0 Point there? Did my theory get in? Yeah, what theory? Why doesn't he do it on Monday? What are we talking about? The community video. Because I filmed that. If you type it on Monday, I might not get to that. Community's stacked at the moment. That's what I'm saying. It might not be in next week's video if you put it start Monday. That's what I'm saying. Why would 2 0 Points be in the same omniverse destroy it? What was the central creator though? Did one 0 Point create the other? About Storm King. Yes, about the Storm King and the cube. Did you do the Einstein-Rosen thing as well? Because we had talked about that. I don't know who did that though. But my point was, hold on. I don't know if you were here for that. My point about that is everyone keeps putting the vault here, which I do get, but there is nothing that space doesn't exist. So what makes the most sense is you still have the vault or the vault doors be like there'd be multiple vault doors across the omniverse that goes to a central hub, which is the vault, which each have one of these connecting them, but it wouldn't be in the middle. I mean, you could explain the in-between like that, but is the in-between the same thing as the... No one answers. Is the in-between the same as the vault? Is a whole different scenario. But it wouldn't be there, because that you'd be like a 2D splat thing there. That's thin. That's nothing really exists now. In between a black hole and a white hole. A wormhole. It just... Can't have two. But actually, just saying that, but that's why I would say that when I originally drew this, right, that 0 Point is omnipresent and sits with realities sort of on top of each other, and this is why you get like that Batman comic where it had like the weird star coordinations where they overlap. This makes a most logical set. Well, not logical maybe, but so you have reality 0, reality 1, reality 2. I'm trying to think. So that's still reality. So this is reality 0. This whole line here. That's reality 1. That's reality 2. Oh, okay, no, that's got to be reality 0. So wait, no, I've done reality 0. Even I'm getting confused. Reality 2, right? But that's maybe the 0 Point can sit in a like a vault type thing, and you can have different doors in each one of these different realities. Which, maybe would explain that maybe Chapter 4 was a different reality, even though, yes, there is contradicting facts that still says it's reality 0. But that's why you had, on top of that thing, you know, when Stan talks about the moon, you had the makeshift vault in the forest before it cracked, and obviously we had wilds. We have different points of entry to the coordinates of the 0 point and maybe the vault. So obviously, the portal that Midas had in Chapter 6 might have been a direct link as well to the vault wherever that vault is at the moment. Same again with the actual vault in OG and the vault that was in the original Chapter 1, if you believe like me that the OG reality Athena is somehow like a duplicate reality in the set, and the last reality just threw a cube on there and a loop, and it's replaying the same events because you know how to dictate that. I don't know. But everyone wants to know about the Ice King and the Foundation instead of actually trying to work out ground-breaking foundation points to how the universe works. I don't know. What do you mean back? You went? Okay. Was it you in the community videos, right, that said about the Einstein was it Roseanne theory? And were you in the stream I talked about earlier? That's what I'm saying. Okay, it might not have been you then. On, yeah. Was it not you? Who was it then talking about that? Oh, the wormhole theory. The Einstein-Roseanne bridge thing. Whatever it's called. That's what I'm talking about. That was you. I've just seen the thing. The vault sitting in the middle of a wormhole, essentially. That theory. Right, yeah, okay. So I saw someone else on Twitter. I've actually seen a few people on Twitter say that same theory, right? And I don't know... Why are you putting it in the middle? Why are you putting it in the middle? Don't have a better photo. Okay. Right, don't go this time. Right. Okay. So I understand what you mean. I think it can work. So this is chapter 1, right? Now, depending on how you see OG, I'm going to see it as a different reality created by, beginning of the Omniverse would have created divergent realities from the start, I would argue that would look similar to Athena, right? So we've got OG, right? But we also got Chapter 6, which everyone forgets, which had a random portal looking at a vault, by the way. So instead of it being in the middle, each one of them would be essentially a bridge to the vault. So I'm trying to work out how to do this. I've done it kind of wrong. So you would have like the vault, basically the hourglass effect. So this is the bridge, right? Where you would put it in the middle. But essentially, because you can't have something in the middle there, because there is actually no space. Oh my god, that's terrible. What have I done there? You wouldn't have a space there, right? So each of them would have their own sort of doors to the singular point that would be the vault, right? I've butchered that, haven't I? The vault. So each one of them would have a bridge and a portal and a vault door. OG, Chapter 1. And they are two different realities and not the past of one another. So they would have a vault. Also, you have to consider maybe Chapter 4 and when it try to create a vault. And maybe some other points out there. There might be some other realities we don't know about that have the same vault system that all go back to a singular vault point. But yeah, no, I wouldn't put it in the middle. That's what I'm saying. So yeah, it would be because in this middle point here through the Einstein-Rosen bridge thing, that's too thin. So space in that, so space is big, isn't it? But in that small point, it's like flat. Nothing can exist in there. But maybe that's how the in between is explained. So maybe there might be something there, but that's essentially be a point. Or no one's really talking about the Chapter 6 one at the moment. Which could be its own portal to the vault, which may obviously not actually be where Chapter 1 and Chapter OG is. That could be somewhere. We don't really know. It's obviously its own reality. But where it is obviously no one knows. Maybe. Oh, no, it's fine. It's just everyone keeps putting it in. You're not the only one that does that. So if someone found a photo of it, why? That's what I'm saying. They should have just used two either ends to explain that it's going to a central point, rather than it being the central point. That's what I'm saying. Alright, anyway. I didn't realise it's 1 AM in the morning. Guys, use creator code Mr. Joy in the Fortnite item shop, mrjayowhy. Appreciate everyone using my code in the item shop. My Fortnite crashed. Did it crash? Did I turn it off? I might turn it off without thinking. Buy the bisexual merch. Oh yeah, merch. Links in the description. All the other merch. The signature. Anyway. Jay, did you get both of my questions in community post or not? I have no idea. I definitely got one of yours. I definitely got the... Was it Kevin one? Oh, what? Oh, damn it. Where's my upload gone? Oh, it's still here. Oh, I got it still uploading. Right, is this the upload thing? Oh, I might have to re-upload this. I don't know if it's still uploading.
Welcome to this week's community's video. Have you seen bits of the island where the door is essentially getting to... Voyager to look for. First I was trying to... Voyager to look for. But yeah, just... Voyager had the plans, but then parkour accelerate you go downstairs. I actually never really think... Well, if there is a red 0 point... Is there a Green Lantern, by the way? Crystallised thing for the... All shall fall to doom. Again, Zeno teasing his... Just about Indiana Jones, Vader, long... replacing Stormfire. Just about Indiana... The other day, I need to read the all come out because it's 7th and 5th, which is waiting. I don't know. Obviously, Kevin does actually reform him to try and steal the time machine. Don't you know the context? Well, if there is a red set it. I'm trying to think. Are you sentient? Because they are sentient cubes. They go from caves and sort of form into sentient. And it's always a bit of a mean so many things. I mean, this, I think.
No, I think that might be one.
Oh, Mark was a. I don't know. So, there is some areas for some fulfilled the passage with that concept art. But it was only in the anyway, let's get on with today's video. First post of the week is Fortnite lore is set in real life years.
Don't know. Anyway. Well, I mean, as I said in the video, you know, as I said when I announced it, you know, if you can't buy it, you can't buy it. Simple as that. I can't make it any cheaper in terms of how it's been made. I don't really have I can't buy it in bulk as I would want to, and that would have, you know. And to be fair, it's not going to be much cheaper than, I guess, the base standard price of around $40 to $30. Plus, and then you have to put VAT on it. And then plus you have to put shipping on it. Plus then you have to put something else on it. That's pretty standard merch price, unfortunately. And I can't make it any cheaper, or I would not make any money on it. Yeah, we've had some sales. Right, anyway, I'm gonna have to re-upload the community video. It seemed to have unfortunately glitched out on this upload. It's still saying 58%. It's stuck on 58%. I don't know what's happened. Oh well, let me delete that. You used to be able to revitalize and upload. You can't seem to do that anymore. You just like restart it, but that is, I don't know. I even upload like, I don't know, 40%. You could say, oh, do you have it still? And it would be able to re-download the rest of it. For some reason, you can't do that anymore. Wait, is this it? Am I downloading the right one? Oh, I don't know. Yeah. No, I'm not redoing it. I'm re-uploading it, not re-rendering it. I'm re-recording it. I'm re-uploading it. Holy, that would take like 3 hours to do all that. The other post may be in there. You got to remember, it's an hour 20 minutes of recording. I don't know if I missed it, edited it out, didn't think it was. 0 point is the center of reality. Does that mean there would have to be a 0 point in the center of every reality? I mean, 0 point is omnipresent? Or they're infinite? Yes and no. You've kind of asked in two questions there. I mean, Big Bang might have kind of confuse things, even how to visualize it. That's what I'm kind of saying. But in terms of it being like cycling through different realities, which is said, it can obviously maybe like move realities. It's sentient. It can do what it wants. It can send warning signals. It can move about. It can do what it wants. But for it to appear everywhere, maybe not. but it maybe be able to move and cycle through different realities. But no, it's not like kind of like that. But it doesn't have to be in the center of the universe. I guess it was created in the center, but after that point, it can do what it wants, which it has done. Has moved, broke, snapped, cracked and popped. Anyway, guys, I must go. But guys, thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Consider using credit code mrjayowhy in Fortnite Live Shop. And yeah, until next time, it has been your boy, mrjayowhy. Till next